Hi Seekers, welcome back to the channel. What is a ghost? Everyone has their own interpretation of that meaning. What is a ghost? People get confused with ghosts with being demons, angels, but the most common theory is recordings or spirit of physically deceased people. I think there is a distinction between a ghost and a spirit. I think a ghost is just a recording of a past or maybe future event. And a spirit is something actually we can communicate with through a good psychic medium. And it's fascinating. I know many people who've seen recordings. There is the stone tape theory, of course, where they say that traumatic events just on the verge of death can be recorded into the fabric of a building. I don't support that theory whatsoever, because people have seen ghosts out in the open, out in fields, out in the countryside, on battlefields. And I don't like the idea personally of something physical matter being a contributor to something that's non-physical. So what's your interpretation of a ghost? Ghost or a spirit? Is there a difference? I like to think there is. For people who do paranormal research, it's very rare for someone to interact with a recording that they've seen. And I've heard some fascinating stories over the years. Fascinating. That people still can't get to grips with. Especially when there's multiple witnesses. Not just one, but multiple witnesses to the same thing. One great story I have, which is still one of my favourites, is my friend was working in a Victorian school at 9 o'clock in the morning, letting the kids in. Her and a colleague saw a man in a tweed jacket come through a corridor opposite them and walk into a wall. Saw the same guy at 12 o'clock midday when they were letting the people out, letting the kids out. That's fascinating. So not only a double witness, but twice within a couple of hours, which I find incredible. I personally have never seen a ghost, or I might have and not realised it, who knows. But what really is going on? People talk about the spirit world. If our consciousness is universal, and they're starting to think more and more that consciousness is fundamental to the universe, are we just passing through? Are we just headsets? And it's all a virtual reality? I'd like to hear your thoughts on that. I'm always fascinated by people's stories. Absolutely fascinated. As I say all the time, I don't think anywhere is haunted. I think it's everywhere. There could be things walking about me right now. I'm in a graveyard at St Michael and All Angels Church in Mickleham in Surrey, in the Surrey Hills. Beautiful day, beautiful setting, and not the kind of place you'd think you might see a ghost. Although most ghost sightings are in the daytime. And it's fascinating. I'd love to see one, because it will totally change my perspective on things. Once I've analysed it all, you've got to look at the atmosphere. How you're feeling that day. Were you drunk? Was it in the middle of the night? Were you tired? There's so many other factors you need to look at before you can say, yep, I saw a ghost. I do like it when people say, I don't believe in ghosts. But here's a story. I'll say, and they tell me the story. I say, and you still don't think there is anything in it? It could be a figment of my imagination. Could be. Could be. I mean, how many realities are there? People who do ayahuasca say they sense a reality that's realer than real. Is that where we're heading? Is that the real reality? Is spirit just next level up? and then we go through multiple levels, multiple quantum levels. Is our three-dimensional reality really what it's all about? Are ghosts just figments of our imagination, really? Are there a time slip, which me and Wendy did a video on recently, which I'll link below? But why do you need to go into an old building at 4 o'clock in the morning to see a ghost or sense a ghost or speak to spirit? It should be no different to 10 o'clock in the morning as opposed to 10 o'clock at night. I always find the best ghost stories when people tell them to me is when they're not least expecting it. They're not even thinking about it. They could be at work. Very rarely do I ever hear of any evidence of people doing paranormal investigations and seeing a ghost. Very rare. You know, great fun though. I used to do them back in the day. Great fun with great people. Really enjoyed them. But these questions were lingering. Why are we doing this at 3 o'clock in the morning? People say noise bleed from outside, which would be harder if it was during the daytime. Fair enough, that's a good point. But some properties we've been in have been in the middle of nowhere, where it didn't matter if it was 10 o'clock in the morning or 10 o'clock at night. So, yeah. So what's your thoughts? Do you believe in ghosts? Do you believe in spirit? I do think they're separate things, personally. I think I like to see them as separate things. Please let me know your tells. Please like, subscribe, and more conscious realms coming up. Take care.